what developers are looking to do is to raise tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars from individual investors. So the way that you communicate in order to build a relationship, in order to promote a product that is a $20, $50 product is going to be different, isn't it? Question mark, than ultimately, saying, hey, Gary, will you invest $100,000 in my deal? How is that relationship going to be different?
It's not different. It's just the scale is a little bit different. But listen, you're qualifying people, right? So, you're getting in front of people who are potentially able to make a $50,000 or $100,000 investment. So let's say like myself, for example, like I invest in real estate, I invest in the stock market, and I do that at a relatively, for me, high level of like a high frequency, and I do it all the time. And I have an understanding of what I'm looking for in terms of the return that I want. I have an understanding of kind of my risk tolerance on certain deals, and I'm in different kind of deals, right? So for me, I'm a good example of somebody who would invest, $50,000, $100,000, sometimes more. So for me, if I've been consuming someone's content on somewhat of a regular basis, and that person is branded to me, and I've never met them, but I watch their YouTube videos, or I watch any of their content, or if it's, it's Instagram or Facebook or whatever it may be. And I've developed almost like a personal relationship where I'm following their lives, I'm following their professional advice, I'm following their personal advice. It's character development, and I know who they are now. So for me, I would far more likely make an investment into that person, this authority, this person who is branded to me, who I'm invested in emotionally. I'm far more likely to make an investment with this person than I am making an investment with somebody who solicits me and says, hey, Gary, invest $100,000 with me. I'm going to get you these, amazing returns, and your money is safe and whatnot. And even if that person was referred to me by a good friend, I would be less likely to convert on that investment than I would be if I'd been already consuming this person's content for 3 months, 6 months, a year. So it's very different. So, at the end of the day, a sale is a sale in the new media age, meaning you tell a story, you build trust, you establish yourself as a thought leader in any given space, and then you convert onto whatever your action is, your target action. So I don't see $100,000 investment any different than me purchasing a $10 item. It may take a little longer for me to consume that person's content, for me to believe that they're trustworthy, than I would need to, somebody who recommends this product, because my risk is somewhat higher on a $100,000 investment than spending $10 on an exercise product. But the process is the same. And that trust, it really does need to be established, because, even with me, people come to me, like, I'm not even on social media. So I have a little bit of a presence, but my wife is really the one, and I appear in her content sometimes. But because people see that, they put two and two together. They understand that my wife and I are business partners, and that we run this business together. So I've already proved out that I'm able to do this. So it's the same thing. If you've got a developer who, let's say, as an example, that developer does a vlog of a tour of a construction site, and prior to going on that construction site, they talk about how they acquired the property. They talk about the deal itself, and they talk about kind of the drama behind the deal. And they really, they expose that, whatever they're allowed to. Obviously they don't want to break any kind of NDAs or whatnot, but they talk about this deal. It's interesting. It's intriguing. There's a human drama element to it. Then they tour the space itself. They tour this beautiful building that they're developing. They go up, and they see the skyline from the view, and they talk about the building, and they talk about all the different amenities that it'll have. And, they'll talk about all the hardships of building and maybe getting the permits, whatever, like all of the things that are involved in the building of a project like this. For myself, I'm not in that industry, but I may find that interesting. So if that piece of content was engineered correctly, and by engineered, I mean that, like, on YouTube, for example, the thumbnail and the title are really cool. Like, I'm building $100 million bill or $500 million building, and here's what I wish I would have known prior to starting. And then you have a thumbnail with like a skyscraper and a guy standing like this in front of it. You know, so there's some intrigue created and there's interest, and then I click through and I consume that content. If I watch enough of those videos, if that's a series by a professional developer, and then I either am in the market for an investment, I really want to invest in real estate because I want to diversify my portfolio, or I get solicited by somebody from that person's team, I am far, far more likely to convert in either of those two scenarios than I would be if I had never heard of this person at all.